Welcome to another exciting edition of the SoCal Prep Report. Richard Strayl along with Bob Gibson. Randy Rosenblum will join us shortly. And your boy Mo is still on vacation. Bob, I don't know what's up with you and Mo, man.
Yeah,
you couldn't get to work for a couple of weeks, and now Mo's out for a couple of weeks, but that's okay. A lot of exciting stuff, and we don't need another voice in here.
That's true, right?
Got enough. Never mind. We got enough in here, all
we
right?
got enough knuckleheads across the board here. We'll
you almost got me. All right, let's take a look right away. It's the C.I.F football playoffs. Of course, Randy Rosenblum being here with the city, talking about some volleyball. And we got John Lennon here tonight.
I like it.
My boys in tonight. Get to talk a little bit about John Lennon football. Boy, did they get hosed this week. Oh, my God, Bob.
Right? I know.
That was terrible.
Not good.
I haven't
good
seen
at all.
anything like that since I was like in the 3rd grade, and we got ripped out. There was a throw at the plate. Guy was totally out, but they called him safe. Cheating. Anyways, what are we talking about? Some of that. I'm traumatized now. I'm going back to the old days. All right, let's take a look. Division 1. No surprises whatsoever in this division at all. All the favorites won. Vegas lost no money this week. Everybody beat the spread, and everybody's going to the next round. First of all, St. John Bosco over Sarah. Not even close. San Clemente over Murrieta Valley. Now Bosco and San Clemente get to go at it, Bob.
Bosco and San Clemente.
Love that game,
this is almost like a bye week again for St. John Bosco. Come on, San Clemente.
Come on.
On their best day, could not hang with St. John Bosco. I'm sorry, San Clemente. That's just the way it is. Bosco will breeze through to the next round of the playoffs. Now, when you look at the other ones, I think Centennial pretty much has the same kind of a thing with Rancho Cucamonga. I think Centennial will just be almost everybody till they get to the semifinal here, and that we'll see what that matchup looks like. But I like Mater Dei over Mission Viejo. I don't think there's. I think Mater Dei's rolling again.
Nobody asked you about that yet, Bob. We haven't even talked about the game. You're over there going, oh well, here's the deal. You're flipping coins right now. Get out of here. What are you talking about?
All right, go ahead.
Let's get some substance here. Jay Sarah just handled Pauly like they handle everybody else. What's up with Pauly right now? How come they can't get over the hump?
I don't know, because Pauly.
They're not hurting for athletes
at all. 34,000 kids at Long Beach Pauly High School. I mean,
42,000.
Right. You're talking about just an immense student population there. This is a Long Beach Pauly program that just every year has just dominated at the D1 level. But now it's been a couple of years that program's kind of floundering a little bit, right? I mean,
no domination. Since Raul Lara left that program, there's been no domination by Pauly, and they're kind of like.
And that is very true.
You know, they're kind of like the Trinity League over there. You know, they got 6,500 kids in one school, and they can get all the good athletes in the area, but for some reason they can't put it together.
They get everybody from that Long Beach area to come to Pauly, right? They get all those kids, but yeah, right now it's just not Pauly's time.
Nobody buys in, Bob.
We'll see. It'll come back around. It'll come back around because the numbers favor Pauly.
All right,
but
so
right now it's not good.
Let's go to Oaks Christian now. Of course, they beat Chaminade. We knew they would. And now we have that interesting matchup between Sarah and Oaks Christian. A lot of people believe in Oaks Christian, man. They've been drinking the Kool-Aid saying, hey, they should be a top 10 team in the country. Maybe top 20, but this is going to tell us everything right here, Paul.
Yeah, this will. And I like Jay Sarah in this game just because of the level of competition they've played. I don't think Oaks has played nearly the level that Jay Sarah has played this year. I'll take Jay Sarah, and then it's a Bosco-Jay Sarah match. Don't forget, Jay Sarah played Bosco to within a touchdown earlier this year. So that will be an interesting matchup, although I see Bosco just getting through.
Now we had Mater Dei, of course, Valencia. That was Rosenblum's upset special. And Randy, don't deny it. You did pick that as a possible upset special until he found that it was Valencia of Valencia, not of Placentia.
Well,
then he changed his tune, so I give him that much. Mission Viejo over a Mott. We knew that was going to happen.
Right.
I think Mission Viejo is well healed now after losing those 4 games to the forfeit. I understand that's going to mess with your head a little bit.
True.
And to lose to San Clemente like that by 1 point, that just tells me there's some residual left over from being penalized so heavily. But this is going to be a good matchup right here. Mater Dei may squeak by on this one. I think they're going to win by maybe touchdown, maybe 10 points.
This will be a fun game because Mission Viejo has a lot of good athletes. Not quite as many as Mater Dei. Mater Dei played last week without Brew McCoy. They're Mr. Everything on both sides of the football. They didn't need him to beat Valencia. They will need him to beat Mission
Why
Viejo.
didn't he play, Bob? What happened?
He was sick.
All right.
Had an illness, so sat it out. You got to think that nothing would keep him away from this game this week against
Wasn't
Mission
no
Viejo.
eligibility issues or anything like that?
No. Young man was just under the weather.
This year already.
He's
asked those questions, Bob.
He's going to be back and raring to go because Brew McCoy, arguably the best player in the nation this year, certainly in Southern California. I don't think that we could argue
Yeah, that
anybody
Bosco
was better.
quarterback, you golly might have something to say about that.
I like him, not on
man.
both sides of the football,
All right.
though. Not the way McCoy plays on both sides of the football. Nobody can match Brew McCoy in the state of California this year.
All right, just keeping
No
it
chance.
real, as they say.
No
All right,
chance.
Centennial, Rancho Cucamonga coming up this week. Of course, Centennial just blowing through Orange Lutheran again. Rancho Cucamonga, very tough. Matter of fact, they were, they were in the national hunt not too long ago, 3 or 4 years ago.
Yep.
So they're a good program. Now you got Centennial, Rancho, two teams that know each other very well. I don't expect this to be but a speed bump for Centennial.
I think that was one of the few first-round matchups we didn't know was Vista Murrieta, Rancho Cucamonga. I thought Rancho would win. They did. So they move on to this one. But, yeah, Centennial. Who's going to beat Centennial right now? I mean, really, you're looking at that Centennial Mater-Dei matchup. And then I think you flip a coin, assuming everybody's healthy in this one because that has a chance to have some real offensive fireworks.
Well, basically because you said so. Everybody's healthy. We'll just go with
I
that,
say
Bob.
so.
Thank you very much. Let's go to Division II real quick. We got to get moving, man. We're
Moving
dragging that first segment. Again, very few surprises here. Rancho Verde over Tesoro. They were the favorite in Division II.
Yep.
Of course, Alemany Cathedral. Cathedral moving on, Bob?
Cathedral beat Alemany. Yes, they did. Cathedral
Wow.
with a nice win there. So Cathedral gets Rancho Verde. And then on the other side of that bracket, Notre Dame Sherman Oaks took out La Habra. And that was a really good matchup in round one. We had talked about that last week as being one of the better first-round matchups. And Westlake, Los Alamitos, Los Al, based on their strength of schedule this year, I think that's what got them through against Westlake.
Ray Fenton's got those guys going, man.
does.
And Westlake, good team. I mean, they came within a touchdown of Oaks Christian, right?
They did.
So not a bad showing there for Los Al. Norco Upland, game coming up. Norco was really tough. Upland was good, but Upland did have a big loss early in the season, man. They weren't even in that game.
Mission Viejo.
Mission Viejo.
Yeah,
they
Mission
lost by
Viejo
like
really did a number on
150,000 points.
Yeah.
Didn't look good for Upland, but here they are back, and they are now in the quarterfinals. San Juan Hills, Calabasas, Bob. A good matchup. Probably Calabasas in this. They've had a tougher road to go through.
San Juan Hill's still a newer up-and-coming school in Orange County. A really good program, though. This is one that's really on the rise. We're going to see them here
All right.
in the next couple of years. But Calabasas is going to get through here.
Let's just run through the rest of the divisions now and see what's going on. We have to move on. Division III, have a quick look and see who the survivors are going into the quarterfinals. Cajon and Paraclete, no surprise there. Santiago taking on Capo Valley, Bob.
I like that matchup. I like
What's
that
Capo
matchup.
Valley doing down in Division III?
It's been a while since Capo Valley. Years ago, back in the 80s, we used to see Capo Valley up in those upper divisions. But yeah, Capo Valley, I think, has a really good chance here in this division. Really good chance.
Sierra Canyon defeated Roosevelt. They'll take on Moore Park. Downey and Citrus Hill will be going at it as well. Downey back in there, man, back in the quarters.
Beat La Mirada. That's a big win for Downey.
It is?
That's
Not
a
this
big
year.
win.
La Mirada was 2-8.
La Mirada is
They
still a
didn't
good
deserve to
program.
be in the playoffs,
I know
Bob.
you were down talking La Mirada
Down
all year
nothing.
long. La Mirada is still a good program.
I don't care if they played Bosco, Mater Dei, Servite, and all those other guys. They
did.
should have won more games.
All right.
Division 4, let's keep this thing moving. Thank you very much. And see where everybody's at. Help me out here, Bob. We got Redondo and Corona Del Mar. Corona Del Mar should run this division. They got Yorba Linda next, followed by Camarillo and Oak Hills, both in the semis. No surprise. Villa Park, I expect to see them in the finals. Bob, don't you expect to see anybody? You are the kiss of death. Do not say a word. Why couldn't you pick the Red Sox, man?
Oh,
Stop it.
If this
Stop
isn't
it.
Corona Del Mar Villa Park in the finals, I don't know what else to tell you. This sets up for that All-Orange County
I have
matchup
no
in
idea
D4.
why Paramount and Grace Brethren are playing this week, but they are. Who would ever see that matchup in the playoffs, Bob?
You wouldn't. That's the beauty of it.
Holy moly. Division 5, let's roll it. Hello, let's go. Bob, I'm falling asleep up there.
Now I'm ready to go. Let's do this.
All right, Aquinas defeated Los Altos, and Palos Verdes defeated Harbor Westlake. Huh? Think about that one for a minute.
That's right.
Apple Valley, Glendora. St. Paul Lucerna is the game I'm interested in
I
this
like
week,
that.
just because I know the lay of the land here in the southeast area. That's just a weird game. It just is. You know, St. Paul, I mean, they got, what, 200 kids in that school, maybe 250
Right.
tops? And Lucerna's a pretty big school here in the Whittier Union High School District, so I don't know what's going to happen. It's going to be a good game. I'm just picking St. Paul just because.
You like that Lawndale Antelope Valley matchup on the other side of it?
Man, I think that thing's still there.
Because St. Paul's always going to be. Ansich always hangs over the specter of Barry and Ansich always hangs over St. Paul.
Yes, it does. All right.
A lot of championships.
Number 6. All right. Look at that. South Hills continues to roll. They were in the No Love Club, member.
That's
Matter of
right.
fact, most of the No Love Club is still in this thing, by the way.
It's good to know.
That's right. They're going to take on Miracosta this week from the South Bay. An interesting ball game. Mayfair going up against Pacifica, Suburban League team there. Mayfair still rolling. Serrano, St. Margaret's, and West Ranch and Oxnard. West Ranch, Bob?
West Ranch, yep, but I like St. Margaret's here. I really think St. Margaret's is the team to watch in Division 6. I think they got a good chance to get to the final.
Has nothing to do with you working for the Archdiocese
no,
Radio Network,
No,
Bob,
that's
Network?
not even a. That's
All
not
right,
even a.
just
No,
asking,
they're not
man.
even part of that.
All right, just saying.
Not even part of that.
All right, Northview from Covina continues to roll. They're going to take on, we were talking about Raul Lara. His Warren Bears are rolling right now.
Yes, they are.
Hey, who knew? Milliken will be taking on Culver City in the quarterfinals along with Valencia and Grand Terrace. Notre Dame and San Jacinto round out the top 7. Round out Division 7. Let's go to Division 8 now. Let's just keep moving and get it on. Catella defeated Summit. They will face Alta Loma in the semis, and I was very, very interested in finding out that Catella is actually the underdog in this game.
No, they're not. They
We'll
cannot be.
Bob, I'm just telling you what I read. That's what we're talking about now.
I don't buy it.
Temesco Canyon taking on Arcadia. Kaiser San Dimas also in the quarters on the lower bracket, followed by Temecula Valley and Santa Ana.
Watch out for the Saints of Santa Ana. Good football team.
All right, if you say so, Bob.
I do indeed.
All right, that's what I like about you, man. You're always positive. Palm Desert taking on San Gorgonio now. San Gorgonio took out Big Bear. How did that happen, Bob?
Yeah, Big Bear, you know, Big Bear's been living large for so long. We've been talking about Big Bear. This was not Big Bear's year. We won't see them at the luncheon in Long Beach in a couple of weeks. It's been a while since we have not seen Big Bear there. Their seat at the table seemed always safe.
All right, continue on. San Marino taking on North Vista. Brea Olinda. Brea Olinda, I'm shocked,
Right?
Bob.
Brea Olinda.
I'm shocked.
That's a basketball school, not a football school, but here they are.
They're in the
Here they are.
quarterfinals, all right? All right, let's continue moving on. Division 10. Come on, man. We got to roll, baby. Roll. Highland taking on Simi Valley. Hillcrest taking on Bonita. Again, no surprises. Eisenhower will take on Chaffee. And El Rancho. El Rancho's in this thing from the
El
They're still
Rancho?
in this. They're taking on Knight.
Knight.
Now, Knight's the big school up in the Desert Valley.
That's right.
Is Carlos he's checking
Up
in
in the
today?
Palmdale area. I don't know. Are we going to talk to Carlos? I
Carlos
don't know.
Pena. Anyways, Carlos will tell you all about Knight. Knight and El Rancho, that's an interesting game. Let's go to Division 11 now. Take a look. Dun, 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 dun. I don't think they're playing any music behind this, Bob. They never do, man.
Some of the matchups here are crazy. Look at the bottom of the Hemet and Irvine. What kind of a road trip is that?
That's nothing.
Somebody's taking a bus ride
Wait a minute.
forever.
You got Santa Paula taking on Palm Springs,
I
man.
know.
That's like 1,000 miles one way. I'm digging
Irvine.
that.
There's another matchup you would never see in a trillion years, but you see it here in round 2 of the playoffs.
All right, Western taking on Jurupa Hills, and of course Beaumont and Pasadena, Bob.
This is a great division.
Another million-mile march, man, just to get
really
to the game. I like it. I love it. I love it.
These bus rides are going to take forever.
All right, let's roll through the last 2. Let's go. Let's go. Division 11. Division 12.
D12.
Now, Linfield Christian against BG. Wow, that's
Bell
another
Gardens.
game you'd never see.
Right?
Yep, Xavier Prep taking on Nogales. Oh, it's the Glenn game. We're going to talk about that game.
We
in
are
just
going
a
to
little
talk
bit.
about
It should
that.
be Glenn, and Nogales should be staying home, man. What a nasty thing went on over there.
I know it.
Laguna Beach and Northwood. It's Irvine taking on Laguna Beach. And then Artesia and Rio Hondo Prep, another game I thought I would never see in a playoff. All right, Division 13, looking at the last one.
Right,
All right,
we're there.
Bob.
We got there.
Pardon me. I've had a cold this week, Bob.
Go ahead.
As you know,
Right.
I fist
You're
bumped
good.
you earlier. El Monte taking on Fairmont Prep, Savannah, Adelanto. For those of you that don't know where Adelanto is, it's way out there. It's on the way to Vegas. You can see it off to your left, heading east.
It's on the road to nowhere.
St. Bernard and Gary going head-to-head. Again, Loera taking on Orange Vista. St. Bernard's and Gary. St. Bernard's, as some people
Bernard,
might
yes,
say.
right.
But whatever.
The English would say that.
Those are the 13 divisions. Those are all the teams that are moving on. And I'm tired now.
It's a beautiful day out here. Sunny today with light breezes, giving way to clouds in the afternoon. We could see some light precipitation to moderate precipitation later on, followed by powerful storm-like conditions. 90 miles per hour winds are expected. Authorities are asking everyone, stay indoors. Come on, that's it. Let's go.
All right, welcome back, everybody. And joining me now is Randy Rosenblum. Going to talk about the LA City section, of course, full bloom, Rosenblum, but also that's actually the first round for Division 1.
It really is. For the Open Division,
Yes.
they didn't play last week. It's very interesting, too, because as we look at the Open Division, some of these teams have had to wait a long time. In particular, Birmingham hasn't played in 21 days when they hook up against San Fernando, which is a critical game for dominance in the San Fernando Valley. Birmingham's last game was a forfeit against Taft, so again, they've been waiting around, and Jim Rose is trying to get his club ready. That's a very good San Fernando team. Venice plays Narbonne. 4 of Narbonne's players won't play. They were in a little scuffle against Carson. So you see Carson on the other side against Garfield. Carson will be missing 12 players. So Garfield, who's on the road and undefeated, I like their chances against Carson with 12 players missing for the Colts. And then you got Pally with that terrific defense going to Eagle Rock, the number 2 team, unbeaten. Eagle Rock's been great all year. I think they'll probably get through, but they'll be tested against that great Pally defense. That's the open division, and all these teams have been sitting around for a while, especially Birmingham.
It's got to kill Carson to lose a dozen guys, but what are you doing, man? Think.
You got to think, and that was against Narbonne. They're getting blown out in the second half, and they have a scuffle, and boom, they're gone.
First of all, nobody gets hurt in a football fight, so there's no reason to go out there and fight. Nothing's going to happen. What are you going to do, grab some dude's face mask, kick him in the butt? They're not even going to feel it. You can't even hit a guy in pads with your arm as hard as you can hit him when you're going full force and dropping your head on him. I mean, what are they thinking, Randy?
Well, they're going to feel it now because 12 of them aren't going to play.
Unbelievable.
All right, so now we're going to go on to Division 1, which has an absolutely great second-round game. And it's Dorsey and Crenshaw hooking up again. They met just a couple weeks ago in their big rivalry game, and Dorsey won it 44-35. Dorsey's number 1, Crenshaw is the 8th seed. You got to like Dorsey, but it's never easy to beat a team a second time around. Great athletes on both sides of the ball. Again, they both struggled earlier in the year. Then they played well in the Coliseum League. So I like Dorsey, but that's a very dangerous game. Resita's been very good since their loss to San Fernando. You got to like them over there against Hamilton. San Pedro's got a very good football team. Southgate got by a pretty decent El Camino Real team in the first round. That was the most competitive game in this division. Westchester outscored Jefferson, and that's what Westchester will do to teams. They score a lot of points. And Fairfax, very interesting game against Banning. Fairfax is playing for the head coach, Shane Cox. He's going to probably retire after the year as the head coach. Fairfax gets a lot of bump playing at home. They're in a beautiful stadium. I kind of think Fairfax is going to get through against Banning and get into the semifinals.
Interesting, man. I like this division a lot, actually. A lot of questions in there.
A lot of questions. And the fact that you have Dorsey and Crenshaw playing in a quarterfinal game is really great stuff. Now that takes us to D2. And this one, the favorite team throughout this is Franklin. But Franklin is playing against a Torres team for the second time. They beat them handily the last time. And Torres has gotten a couple players back, the Williams brothers, who went to another school, sure, and came back, and now they're eligible to play. So the Williams brothers didn't play against Franklin in the first game. I still like Franklin, but I think the outcome will be a little bit different. Arleta's got that fabulous running game. Locke's got a tough defense. That's a very good quarterfinal game. Really like Bill Cohen and what he does at Arleta, but they'll be tested against Locke. On the other side, Canoga Park got off a great start at the beginning of the year. They should get by Bell, but Bell's a tough football team out of the Eastern League. I kind of like Canoga Park there, but again, that's another tough game. And Wilson and Roosevelt, book it for a lot of points. That is going to be a very high-scoring game. I don't think they can stop one another. That might be the most fun game on the board.
Revisiting the Kusha years, huh?
Yeah, remember, they were in that, 92-63 game against Lincoln a couple of weeks ago. Might have that kind of game again this week.
Interesting. What else we have here in the we got Division 3 still.
We still have Division 3. This is Santee's the number 1 ranked team. They're favored. They'll play Lincoln here. They should go through that game pretty easily. Manual Arts Gardena. Again, I like Manual Arts the way they're playing, but Gardena's coming out of the better league, the Marine League. On the other side, Fremont should prevail out of the Coliseum League and move on. Chatsworth Monroe, another Valley game. I don't know who's going to win that game. Maybe Monroe. But again, they're in the weaker league, the East Valley League, Chatsworth in the stronger West Valley League. But I kind of like Monroe in that game.
Interesting. All right, Randy. Well, it looks like a lot of fun, man, with these playoffs right now. Now we're going to move on to the LA City Section 8-man football championship game.
Yeah, they started with only a 4-team tournament, so it's no surprise that Sherman Oaks and Animo Robinson are in the finals. It's a replay from last year. Animo Robinson beat them in the finals last year. Zaragoza is a brilliant quarterback for Animo Robinson. They'll win again. They beat him in the regular season, and they should have no trouble. Animo Robinson will repeat as champions. Now we get into volleyball, the open division. Congratulations to the Palisades Dolphins. They win their 30th, Rich, their 30th girls championship. Alexa Leta came back. They call her Alex, and Alex Leda was great in the finals, 21 kills. Palisades went through 3 West Valley League teams. Carlos Gray had the team ready to go. They beat Palisades. Palisades beat Taft, and then they beat Granada Hills in the semifinals. They're down 2-0 and still won that one. So Pali is the champion, no surprise. San Pedro, great crowd they brought to Birmingham. That's a good match against El Camino, not a surprise there. San Pedro hadn't won a title in a while, but now they have won 4. Elizabeth has won 10 city titles in girls volleyball at the different divisions. They beat the number 1 and now the number 2 ranked teams in the division. Elizabeth was ranked number 4 coming in, so congratulations to the Bulldogs. Here's the story of the year. Birmingham out of the West Valley. Now they dropped in classification in the playoffs. 0-10 in league play. 0-10, and they beat Maywood, and Birmingham wins an LA City championship even though they were 0-10 in league play. I think that's a phenomenal story.
Interesting.
Lincoln wins its first title over De La Hoya. Great match. 15-11 in the 5th. Congratulations to the Tigers there. And our final one, that Aspire Olin is a school. It's a brand new school, really, in Huntington Park. And for them to get a city title early on, another dramatic 5-set match. They got by Dorsey 3-2.
Now, in the city in volleyball, is the number 1, the big division, absolutely the best team, or can some of these teams actually beat some of the upper division teams in volleyball? Because it's such a much smaller.
No, in girls volleyball,
team
Palisades, Taft, Granada Hills, the teams that were deep into the tournament would dominate all the rest. There's a giant discrepancy. And as you noticed, I didn't talk about the state tournament. They're not going to do real well in the state. The southern section schools, like the Mater Days, are much too strong.
And the beach schools are pretty good out here as well.
Oh, yeah. The Redondo Unions, those kind of schools. So once they get to the state, all those schools that won championships there are going into the state tournament. They'll get knocked out pretty quickly.
All right, Randy, good job on the LA City report.
you.
Appreciate it. We'll be looking forward to next week, man. This stuff's going to fair it out a little bit and finally get to see the Open Division play. All right, we're going to take a quick interlude here. When we come back, we're going to have the head coach here, John Glenn, talk about their rip-off this past week against Nogales. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Exploring LA County's trails is now a click away. A mobile-friendly trail locator lets you discover all our county's scenic hikes. It features an interactive map that takes you inside the trail. From the elevation to the temperature, what you need to know is at your fingertips. Wondering if your dog, horse, or bike is welcome? It has that too. So discover some of LA's best-kept secrets and happy trails to you.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Right now, we're talking with, joining us right now, actually, is the head coach from John Glenn High School, Vince Lobendahn. And Coach, first of all, congratulations on a great season you guys had.
Thank you, sir.
Now, how did you guys turn that program around? We had talked earlier, it had been since 2002 since you guys have been in playoffs. Not that you were the head coach at the time, but 2002, and I told you, last time I can remember Glenn sharing any piece of a title was back in the late 80s with Norwalk, 89, 88, something like that.
Yes, sir.
It had been a long time.
Coach Norman.
Yeah, so what's been going on since then? Because it had been a long time since Glenn had even got a sniff of the playoffs.
Well, before we can take any credit, there was a breakup in the league. Suburban League turned into 2 leagues. We got 605 and the Suburban League. That kind of gave us an opportunity to compete in a better pool where we're more competitive. And previous to that, we had been, making some changes as a staff. So over the 5 years that I've been here, we've started in the Suburban League and worked our way into the 605. And we've taken a group of players and stayed with them for the 5 years and developed them, built them, trained them. And now we're at a point where that group is leading the way for our high school.
Well, you guys put up a lot of points. I don't care what league you're in, you still got to win games.
Yes.
And you still got some of the same competition, by the way. It's not like you've stepped down. You're playing the same guys.
Yes.
But a lot of success this year. And real quick, if you want to acknowledge some of your good players, maybe some seniors that are going out, let's talk about them real quick right now.
Yes, sir. My quarterback, David Sanchez, my center, Eduardo Barojas, my D tackle, Alan Parrish, my D lineman, Brian Christian, and corner, we have, at the moment, from a wonderful young man transferred in, Jordan Smith. Those are most of my seniors that I have going out, regardless of the other ones that have contributed. We have a left tackle, nicknamed Man Bun, Jose Garcia, Abe, Gomez. I mean, I'm
It's all
losing
right.
some.
That's all right. You're losing some good players, and you're not going to remember everybody. And it's kind of hard when you say, name some of your great cast.
Then the other ones
somebody
forget.
always gets
Yes.
left out.
Yes.
Bob got left out of a lot of things.
A
when this
lot of
was-
times. That always happens.
Yeah,
Sorry,
so,
Bob.
but it does happen. Coach, it was fantastic. We were talking about you guys in the playoffs this year, and so forth and so on. And man, to lose a game the way you guys did this last Friday. You guys had the lead. You guys controlled the game. Had a touchdown called back. And then they lose it down. You lost it down, man.
Yeah,
you would have got that first down. I'm convinced you would have got that first down had they not cheated you out of that down. What happened during that sequence, Coach?
Well, the touchdown got called back on a mysterious holding, and then it prevented the remainder of those downs to come as a 1 through 4. It ended up being a 1, 2, and a 4, missing a third down. According to what the refs have said, they've been suspended. But for me and my players, we have to move on, and Nogales gets to move on in the playoffs. So we just, find out that group gets suspended. But what does that mean? You ain't coaching the rest of the or reffing the remainder of the year?
Right.
They probably weren't going to do it anyway.
Right. And, they're supposed to be the good groups are supposed to be refereeing, officiating during the playoffs. It's
That's
not like
a nice
you got
one.
800 schools you got to
Yeah.
babysit. Now you're just babysitting maybe 100 or so games, whatever it is. But it's just terrible to go out this way. But not that it's any consolation, but you have just joined an exclusive club. You've joined Kenny Such of Paramount, Mike Fitch of Mayfair, guys that have had their playoff games stolen from them by crap officiating. And that's all this is. If you can't keep track of the downs, there's something wrong with you. The side judge always looks at the down marker to make sure it matches what he's got. And for them not to listen to the coach is just crazy. Mike Fitch got ripped off during Mayfair's years. You were probably around back then. Against Irvine. They called 12 men on the field. Irvine missed a field goal, and then they moved it up 5 yards and let him kick it again. There was not 12 men on the field. Actually, there was 10. How can they call 12 and there was only 10? He was down 1. He got mixed up in his head. Still cost him, but I know it sucks for you, Coach. It just has to. And again, we're not making light of it.
No.
We're calling it out right now. And so tell us how come we're off the center? We have to get in here. Let's all scoot over a little bit so we can get in this shot. Apparently they can't do it themselves. But anyways, Coach, so what happens did you talk to anybody about this?
No, it's just the officiating crew that is overseeing the group. They were from the Inland Empire. So they call and, it ask us to send them the video. They were going to oversee what had happened. But again, I'm only thinking like a coach and
Absolutely.
thinking, does it lead to some kind of, Nope.
Nope.
You know what it leads to is, hey, coach, thank you for being a man about it and, take it like a man, it almost feels inappropriate.
Your team was doing so well this year. Who knows if you would have won that division? I mean, but let's look at the positive side right now, Coach. You guys had a great year.
Yes.
It's been a long time, like I said, since Len's had something to cheer about, baby. And this year you gave those guys some hope for the upcoming seasons, next
Yes,
year,
sir.
year after, and so forth and so on, because it has been tough.
Yeah, they do have something to look forward. We have a brand new stadium coming. We've been at Excelsior all these years with them 1940s toilets,
Yeah, I
where you
know
have to
that.
call the plumber in there every 2 months. So in the end, we get a brand new stadium with, a new turf. It's going to be, something to build behind.
Are they going to put that on Excelsior's current side? They're going to put it in your place.
Oh, I don't know what they're going to do with Excelsior. I'm never going to use that area anymore. As soon as December comes and our field's open, I'm going to take about 14 steps out of my classroom and go
Fantastic.
on to a nice turf field.
That's exciting.
Now
Yeah,
that's cool.
exciting.
That's something that we as a program, these younger guys, are going to get. The older crew that's leaving, they don't get to know it, but that's been their footprint. This is what they're going to have, and John Glenn will have more than just that old where they filmed Grease place.
The only upgrades I can remember they've ever had there, Bob, is like when the gym burned down and they rebuilt that, but that's about it. For you guys to get a field, that's something, man. That's really cool.
You
That's
wait till
really
you see
cool.
the locker room still from the 40s, though.
Oh, yeah, I know. That's all right. One thing at a time, Coach.
yeah.
It is the Norwalk Laramorada Unified School District, and they're struggling like every other district in America, except that Fullerton Unified School District, Bob.
Oh.
See, Bob was working there. Bob knows that's the highest paid district in America. Public schools. So
A lot of money flowing through there.
interesting. All right, Coach. Well, listen. Once again, congratulations on a great season. Let's
you,
not take
guys.
that. Let's not let what happened overshadow
No.
your guys' accomplishments. Congratulations to the Eagles on a great season.
Thanks, Coach.
And that's it for tonight, man. On behalf of Bob Gibson, this is Coach Vince Lobendahn. I'm Richard Estrella. Maybe we'll have. Oh, Rodney Rosenblum was also with us tonight.
That's right.
Who knows if Mo's ever coming back here? I don't even know where he went.
Oh, he's on
I
a road
have
trip
no idea.
somewhere. We'll find him.
Anyways,
We'll
on
find
behalf
him
of the
somewhere.
group, so long. See you next week.